Yo, Peter, Mark, Stuart, usual crazy lot. I guess you can hear me. Anyway, here we are. Don't know if there's much to report. I always start like that, don't I? Once upon a time, that's how all good public speaking should be started, apparently. But anyway, um, yeah, thanks, Mark. Don't know if there's much to report. Done nothing. I haven't done much in the workshop. Everything's sort of sitting here exactly how it was when we left, which is a bit crap. There's stuff I've got. Hey, fridge. David Bellany, good day. Mark Osborne, good day. I had a weekend. Well, it wasn't a weekend as such, but I had a productive couple of 3 days, like crazy big. And most of it I can't tell you about yet. It's happening, but very inclusive. Have you got a purple crown? Yeah, probably. Yours is probably pink, fridge. We're all about DEI, wheelchair access and stuff. Anyway, don't like letting you lot in. You got to get here first to get one. That's how that is. Yeah, blue spanner. So, what happened this weekend? Got a parcel with some windows. Woohoo! Got windows. How cool are they? For like $2.50 each from China. Nice. Gonna whack one of them in there like that. One in the other end. They might be cool. Something like that. As far as this monstrosity of everything goes. Got a heap of banisters. They're hardly big enough really to do the job. I don't know yet. I'm still thinking about that. Some bigger ones would be nice, but I don't know where you get them or what scale. They weren't very expensive. I've spent like about $10 here on 20 banisters. They happened. I got some dowel pins to make some gears, like plywood gears, spur worm gear, or anyway, yeah, that happened, and I got some 6mm bearings on the way. Fridge. I also ordered some glass cutting grinding wheels, which we'll see how they go. Don't know when they'll be, but they might have been of interest to someone. Anyway, this is sort of that's about the limit of happening that's ever actually happened with that. That's the extent of that. That's it. All done. Fixed. That's that. Next thing. Bought these. Haven't had a chance to use them yet. Monday was mostly messing around with office work and stuff. On Tuesday when I got home. Tea and biscuits, good day. But new boring bar, internal thread cutting tool, 55-degree inserts. So pretty happy with that. It's the right one for the thread. So we can go ahead and finish these two nuts this weekend. Got to get out and have a bit of a go this weekend. There's a few things to do, a lot of things to do. If I'm still around, I may have to duck down to Grafton again, which makes for a fairly busy weekend, but we'll see how we go with that. We've got a thought process. What else? This morning, I organised a truck to take 2 engines to the 19th NHMA National Rally, which is August the 23rd to the 31st, at Kingsthorpe Park, near Toowoomba. Sponsors, all that sort of stuff. Pretty keen if you're steam engines, vintage tractors, old engines, food, heritage displays, entertainment, vintage cars, trailer rides, working exhibits, old trades, miniature engines, parades, trade schools, vintage trucks, and much, much more. Australia's largest display of working heritage equipment. Now, I believe that their last count is about 55, 56 full-size engines to the National Rally. So that's a pretty crazy big rally by Australian standards. It's a pretty big rally by English standards, actually. But should be awesome. Anyway, organised a truck there. Sorted that. So that's official. It's happening. Whether we like it or not, that's happening. Yeah, food. So that's crazy. Hey, Bill. So pack the insets for them too. They're the wrong ones, but yeah, you get the idea. They should be good. Haven't got this finished yet. I've got a bit of brass cut somewhere here, but that's about the extent of it. So this weekend I've got to get that sorted as well. This is... I sort of tentatively said Sunday that I'd go up to Mark's and machine this. It may not happen this Sunday. I don't know. We'll see how we go with that, Mark. I'll let you know. It's not a pressing job compared to some of the others. Now, got a bit of paper back from New South Wales Fair Trade to say that Shannondale Steam Shed Inc. is actually a incorporated society, and it's official. So that's all done. Monday morning we went down and opened a bank account for it, so we can take some membership money. Membership forms are pending. Information's pending. Monday night, I spent most of Monday afternoon and night messing around, and probably a fair bit of Tuesday messing around making logos and things. So that's not over yet, but we're getting there, and forms and so forth. So that's something else that happened. There are other things in relation to that happened, and as this unfolds, I'll be sharing that. But at the moment, there's nothing really official. We're going to make it all official before it actually gets announced. But there's stuff on Facebook already. Like there's like incorporation certificate and some stuff that's been happening. Pretty excited about that. So we're now a proper club with proper means and proper committee and proper officers and stuff. I seem to be volunteered, I think is the correct word, to be treasurer. So we'll see how that goes until they get sick of me or decide that I can't run to use an Australian colloquialism, I couldn't run a piss up in a brothel. So when they find that out, they'll probably find someone else to do it, and that's okay. I'm good with that. But for now, I'm happy to have a go. Did I just say that? Probably. We'll see how we go with that. So got all that sorted down there. That's awesome. We have a road run in 3 weeks. That's a bit scary, right? And then the engines are staying, or my engine in particular is staying in Grafton at some friend's place for another couple of 3 weeks. So there'll be opportunity to put pieces on it, but it wants to be pretty well up and running by the 25th, 24th or something. And that's a big job. There's a lot to do. Anyone who's keen to come and give us a hand, polish and brass and so forth and so on. I mean, there's a lot being done, and it's looking a bit tidier than it was a month ago. But still a lot to do. Anyone who wants to come and give us a hand, absolutely keen to put you up and do whatever we can for you to do it. That's that. So that's the Shannondale Steam Shed. That's quite a mouthful. Shannondale Steam Shed Club updates. Hey Randy, good to see you again. Life updates. I don't know if there is any actually. There is actually. There's going to be some changes. There's going to be changes for this channel. Big changes, which is going to be good changes. There's going to be stuff coming up that's going to be excellent, like really good. I also tentatively put my hand up and got accepted as to write a couple of articles on the National Rally for Old Glory magazine. So that's probably something that's going to happen at some point. If anyone's got any insight into doing that, I'd be very keen to hear. But it's something I'm a little bit passionate about, is printed magazines. So we'll see how that goes. Bit scary, but it doesn't pay too bad probably either. So that every bit helps. So that's what's happening in my life. Yeah, that's it, I think. I think we got it all covered. That's about it. There's an email address. Shannondale with 2 N's. Shannondale dot steam STEAM dot shed SHED at gmail.com. This be the correct email address to set up your can drops for if you wanted to donate a few dollars every now and again into it. And it's not really for Emma and Dan's engines, it's for community involvement, and it's to set up a club that's going with premises and everything, that's going to make it a bit of a difference in local area. And it's also going to be some pretty cool stuff happen. So yeah, shannondale.steam.shed at yahoo. Oh, sorry. I'm going to start that again. shannondale.steam.shed at gmail.com. shannondale.steam.shed at gmail.com is the one. That's what you put into your app if you're recycling 10-cent cans, and come straight through to us. It has a Facebook page already, TMB. I didn't know you weren't part of it, but you probably should be. The amazing genius who made that email address is a real pain, because when you start putting it into ChatGPT to get documents written and so forth, it really can't handle it. And I struggle a bit with it too, with all those full stops. It's a very ordinary email address, but anyway. No keyway yet. It's not finished, not border size. I forgot to measure this. There are a series of things that I forgot to do on the weekend. I did put some lines on Dan's steam engine. I had a telephone call about a job opportunity. We went in and opened a bank account, and I got home by about 8 o'clock. I also cut some canvas up into banner size pieces to get that hemmed and eyeletted so that we can paint some banners for display at events. I did some washing up and I got rid of all the cans and I had a sweep up and I did a bit of a degrease on the front of the roller and I put some pins in and I polished some brass and I gave the thing a hose down and yeah, I got a bit done on Monday. So one of the things I didn't do is ss@gmail.com. I wonder if that's available. Is measure the size of the shaft to cut the key. Dan, if you have in the next 24 hours a 3-inch micrometer, you could go and measure it. I think it's 3 inches, but I don't know whereabouts in the 3-inch spectrum it is. It's a couple of hours either way, I would say. I'd like to know. You probably haven't got a micrometer, but if you do, go out and measure the shaft. Appreciate it. Because on Sunday, I could probably go and borrow Mark's lathe and finish these. And bore this out and face it. That's a fairly quick job. There's about half hour's work in that. There's a bit more work in these. But anyway, I've got 55-degree tools for that. We'll see how he feels about that, but it might be something that happens. Where you gone again? Every single time someone wants you, you disappear. TMB, that's in the wind as well. He thinks it's cold down there. Was getting firewood. If you're out at the roller at some point in the middle of the night with nothing to do and a 3-inch, 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 inch micrometer, would you measure this shaft for me? Because I forgot to do that. It's one of the things I forgot to do. There was a list of things, but that was one of them. So there we go. I think it's 3 inch, but it's no good making it too tight. I don't need the keyway measurements. I know what they are. They're going to be oversized anyway. I'm down with that. I've got all that written down. What I didn't get is the size of the shaft. So where it sticks out the end, it's got a pin through it now with split pins in it, right? All very professional and stuff. So it's on there for good, the one that's on there. It's a bit rough, but it's on there. Now, if you were to measure the size of that shaft as it sticks out, it's I reckon it's about 3 thou under 3 inches. Measure it that way and that way if you can, in 2 positions, and give me some sort of an idea what it is, the smallest one or the biggest one, and we'll make it fit before Sunday morning. It'd be great. Because I didn't get that done. I took a micrometer and a piece of paper to do it, and I got halfway home before I remembered. Very slack. But I did get a lot achieved besides that. We got a lot done. There's no doubt about it. So that's happening, and that's happening. National Rally's happening. These jobs are happening. I reckon it's going to be worn too, Dan, but I don't know how much, and it might not be as much as you think. And Bill's right. If you're not out there at 3 a.m. with a micrometer, what are you doing with a roller? That's exactly right. He's got that. He's summed up basically our lives in one sentence. I might actually make a motto and put on the side of the roller that says that. Yeah, so that's that. I unfortunately have to on Sunday morning go up to Petrie because there's things to pick up and jobs to do. So I might as well go to Caboolture while I'm at it and sort some of these jobs and drop this injector back and maybe get some sort of success on that. And then I can come back, and if I'm not going back to Glen Ray on Monday morning, which may or may not be a thing, we will get some other jobs done as well. So it's all kind of all over the place. Jeez, is it crazy. Anyway, don't know why I do this. It is a bit crazy. I did a couple of machining jobs yesterday, only fairly minor stuff. I didn't do much yesterday. I did a lot of artwork on the computer, and I did a lot of drawing and filling out forms and stuff. So that was about it. TMB's right, you've got to get over the end of the shaft, so if it's a bit worn, we can take it up on the keyway a bit. I think a proper fitting key will make a big difference on it. So yeah, the end of the shaft's got to be right. What else? Geez, I don't know. Last night we had a live stream and Onshape live stream and actually sketched up a mud hole door, which I don't know how they're going to be made or whatever. I don't know what the story is with that, but it was a Evelyn Porter front mud hole door. I have a drawing for one of them if someone wants to get the gear up and down to forge them out or stamp them or whatever they need to be done. Stamp ones would be very nice. Progress on the worm, TMB. There isn't any. There we go. At some point in the future when everything's sort of settled down and this road runs out of the way and we've got the engine ready to go to the national rally without these pieces on. Any of these bits won't go on it before then, which is a pity, but there we go. I'm probably going to sit down and order the piece of steel. Now, the problem with the worm is the worm has to be machined on a mandrel that matches the steering shaft. They say that if you get sick of taking meds, then beef Wellington with mushrooms is a very, very good way to sort it out, apparently. But that's an Australian joke. Now, because the thread on the worm hasn't got a blind end, right? It runs past each end of the worm, so it's open-ended on each end. So it's got to really be done on a mandrel with a key in it and a nut, the same as the shaft. So really you've got to get a bit of 2-inch shaft and put a keyway in it, machine it to size, and make 2 mandrels to fit, or two outside, 2 worms to fit it with a keyway, and put them all together and do a nut up on it with a centre in the end, so you can chuck one end and put a centre in the other end so that you can put them in the mill. And if we're going to go to that trouble, we might as well make 2 worms or 3 worms and sell a couple of them, because I know I can get rid of one of them at least. I don't know, probably get rid of 2 of them without any problems, because all Fowler engines have got the same worm, same bit. It's just different size gears. Some of them have got gears like this big, and some of them have got gears this big. So that's the story with that. Now, a piece of 4140 to make the worms is about $100 a piece. At this point, there's other things that I could spend $100 on, to be honest. So we're hanging fire on that. But if we get them and bore them and put keyways in them, and then we can set them up on the mandrel and machine the outsides, the diameter, the size. If we got the blanks and faced them to length and bored them and put keyways in them, we can put them on the mandrel and we can machine the diameters then, and set them up in the dividing head to machine them. And because it's right on the back of this, because the worm sort of this shape, we can run a roughing end mill down here nearly to full depth and clean that out all the way along, and then we can profile cut these. So matter of moving, we can set up a set of profiles with a set of measurements on a chart, and we can move this a little bit at a time on a manual mill and get this profile pretty jolly close. And then all we've got to do when they're pretty good is set them up in the lathe and give them a rub with a bit of coarse emery paper until they look good, or a file or something. So that's the thought process behind that. So because they're sort of, well, they're the same profile as this, the worm. So I haven't got end mill, but I've got a good drill here. So if we were to machine the centre of the worm down, as say a 8mm end mill, a roughen mill, or something pretty ferocious, carbide end mill all the way along them, and then step it over and up as we go, machine this side, and come back down and touch off and machine this side, I think we'd get pretty good results. I think we'd get equally as good results as this anyway. And a bit of work in them, but if we did 3 of them, probably I'd get some dollars for the other 2. So that's the thought process. Anyway, and then that job's done, but that's a bit of work because I still haven't got a dividing head. And whether I sell my dividing head, which is a Vertex BS1, it's Dad's dividing head, and it's done a bit of work, it's got a good lay, good chuck on it and all that sort of stuff. I don't know what you get for it because they're not really expensive to buy. I think they're about $800 to buy, so if you sold it and got 600, you'd be, with the chuck and everything on it, a 700, you'd be doing pretty well. And then a new BS2, which is the universal one with the gears and everything, is about 1800. So you're $1,000 out of pocket. So that's probably the cost of a worm. I don't think you could get the cost of the dividing head out of 3 worms, but you might. Don't know. you don't like. So anyway, there's some maths involved in that. That's the way my head works at the moment. Maybe there was a second-hand dividing head in Melbourne that I should have got, but it was a bit complicated. Someone was coming back up with a trailer and probably would have picked it up for me, but it didn't happen. And it was a bit big too. I think it needs to be in a good quality steel. I think it needs to be machined. I think a good machined worm will make this wheel last a lot longer. That's my thought process on that. There you go. What else? I put the grill in the little Foden, so it's got a mesh grill in it at the moment, or a gauze grill in the back of the behind the main chrome grill. So got that sorted, and it's ready for clear coat. Basically, I think that's the next thing, is to put some clear coat on it. So I'm going to have to sit down at some point one of these nights, mask that up, and put some clear coat on it, because it's going to take a week to dry. So I'd like this weekend to have clear coat on it and be ready to start thinking about some lines and some details and things. Maybe I should put some lines on it first. I don't know. We'll see. I've got some lines, like panel lines and things on it already. So Foden's progressing. I'm not sure that's how that works, Bill. Anyway, that's that. At some point I've got these that need degreasing. I left my degreaser down at Dan, so probably I should have took them down and dropped them in an ice cream container full of degreaser and left them for a week, but it didn't happen. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. All stuff does. Apart from that, there's not much else I've done. They get another. What else did I get? Oh, dropped off some bits to William and Stuart, the aluminium bits for the bandsaw and the mains that look like they're probably actually going to fit for the little Schaefer. Is it a Schaefer? Fractional horsepower side shaft engine he's got there. That's what they were for. What else did I do? Oh, there's a few bits for them. Took those fittings. I think I left the 6 of them there. I found the extra one, Dan, so there's 6 of them there on the bench. Ones were bought on the marketplace last week. So yeah, that's kind of where it's happening. Probably if I had a bit of a go, I could machine these tonight or tomorrow night, but I'm not feeling like it when I get home in the dark. I'm getting a bit sick of the whole 1 hour travel things. Wearing a bit thin, to be honest, on the dollars that I'm doing it. But anyway, no one's going to do anything about it, so I'll have to do something about it. Don't know. Stuart's actually got rain. We haven't got rain here. I don't know where else it's raining, but it's not raining here. I'm guessing Peter hasn't got rain. Another thing I'd really like to do before the road run is get all these tacked up. It'd be very nice to have these on. Basically, they've got 3 holes in them and 2 holes in some of them. The rest of the week, Stuart. So they need a tack on 2 holes there. And it's not a big job to do them, but might have to borrow a MIG welder somewhere and do them. Might take them up the Trades Guild Sunday morning and say, would you mind doing this? Bill's pulling apart one end of the shed, so that sounds nice. He needs rain. And they're going to need some wire rope between them. I'd like to get that fixed pretty seriously. But it's a couple of hours. I can leave them with you, and then I still got to get wire ropes and stuff on them, so it's not that easy. We run out of weeks to leave them there. Have you got a wire rope guy in Grafton? Someone who does wire rope swage? Or have you got a wire rope swage? Or has anyone you know got a wire rope swage? Christian's probably got one for a little wire rope, but getting it out of him and getting him pinned down is difficult. I have a TIG. I don't have gas for it, and it's out in the shed. Maybe I should put the TIG in the back of the van and take the TIG down there and leave it there. But I'd need 6 months experience to pick that up and get it fluent again. I've got 3 or 4 mates with MIGs. I can get these done this weekend. Get them sorted. A couple of sets of them, because they'd be very nice to have on it. I'm talking to John Pettit about these tonight. Had to talk to him on the phone. I think we're probably going to have these fixed too. Get them done. I've got to get this painted. No way in the world I'm going to have these done before the road run. They may be done. It's a long shot. They may be done before the National Rally, but that's a long shot. I'd really like to have them on, but there's a lot of work in them yet. So time's getting away, and you just got to live with what you've done and what you're going to do, and not worry too much about it all. So that's my views. Dan's engine's looking pretty sweet. Like, it's really looking nice. The best of show sort of engine. Trophy engine. It's looking good. It's nice. Hope he... Yeah, it's a nice engine to be taken to an event. I'm really impressed with how that come up. And mine's looking scruffy, but it's a little bit cleaner than it was. I'd like to clean and scrub the canopy at some point. It's probably a job we can do when it's sitting in Grafton waiting for the truck. Did get some polish aside from the whistle. Yeah, I noticed the front plate's been done and the front grease cap's been done. I did all the drain cocks and everything. That's another job. I've got to get that fixed too. I've got the brass here to do it, and they're sort of half finished, so I've got to finish them. So this weekend is not going to be a sitting around feeling sorry for myself weekend. It's going to be a big one. Got to get stuff done. Simple as that. Everyone the other weekend when I was sick in bed had a bit of a go on my engine, which I really appreciate. They did fire it, but there was a lot of brass got polished and a lot of work got done. It was covered in ash when I went down there, and it was still pretty greasy, and I have degreased it and it came up pretty good. The new paint's come up okay. I'd like to get the smoke box done. I'd like to get the back of the boiler and the firebox degreased properly, but it's a huge job. Basically some concentrate degreaser and some of that citrus degreaser and a scrubbing brush, a couple of dish washing up brushes. is probably the best answer to get in there and get it all clean and then just hose it down. But it's a day's work and a very dirty day. And if you go into the bank in the afternoon afterwards, you really can't get too black. Anyway, that's that. I've dribbled a bit. Roby will eventually move it. I didn't have a lot of luck with it, but I think the secret is to, and the bit that I've got off this weekend, scrub and brush. I think the best thing is a scrub and brush and some concentrate of 2 to 1 degrees of water. Just get in there and scrub it. And yeah. We need to sort that door gasket. The gasket material's there. I will talk to Karen on Sunday when I'm up there about cutting a template in plywood or aluminium or something. Corian or plywood or aluminium. Acrylic. So we can run around it with a pocket knife and cut the gasket out nice. That's awesome. I've got the drawing, so I'm just going to say, can you make us this template, and so we can hold it on the gasket and run around it with a pocket knife. That's that. No one, I don't know if anyone's actually following this conversation. It seems a bit one-sided, and I'm sorry about that. But there we go. All good. Now, I don't know if there's much else to say. Reminder, if you come into Queensland for the National Rally, you probably should. If you can get to the 19th National Historic Machinery Association National Rally in Queensland, these dates in August, at this location, Kingsthorpe Park, Warrego Highway, Steaming Under the Southern Cross, National Rally. Fun for the whole family. All these things. Australia's largest display of working heritage equipment. It's going to be big. Like, seriously, it's going to be big. 56 engines, 56 full-size engines without the models. Pretty crazy. I think they've still got camping. They've got everything else. Yeah. Seriously, if you can get to Queensland for that, that's one event you should come for. It's going to be awesome. And if you're in Queensland, take the time to go up, because you won't see anything like it for a long time. And big playpen, heavy haulage, log hauling, sawmilling, all that stuff. And 50 or 60 full-size steam engines in steam. Engines from all over Australia that you're not going to see anywhere else. Should be good. Yeah, got to get out there and rally TMB. So, that's where we're at. I just want to get my life sorted, my workshop back set up and sorted out, and so I can actually make some projects. But it's a matter of getting some of these steam engine projects up and running first. So there we go. And just standing here, I can't really show you very much, because the bits are all over the country, to be honest. So that's where we're at. I don't know if there's much else, really. If work didn't get in the way and we still got paid a little bit more than we do, we could get some stuff done. That's right. You've got no idea how much I'd get done if I, well, probably. I'm at the point in the week that tomorrow, if I had the day off, I could get up and get a lot of this stuff done. There's a lot of jobs here on this bench that I could have done by tomorrow night. Anyway, you've got to come in here on Saturday night when you're feeling miserable, and you've got to have that state of mind. And say, hey, look, I can do this, 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 and this without any problems tomorrow. We'll get that done. And that's what's hard at the moment is coming and doing that. So that's how I am. There's just 1,000 little jobs. Like that plate needs four holes drilling in it for bolts. I need to do something about the brass on these. There's 4 brackets for the front and 4 brackets for the back that have got to have bends in them, welded up. And they've really got to be done on the job. So that's something that Fridge will have to give me a hand with. Yeah, how am I going to find time to work? That's right. TMB will look forward to that. So, all stuff that needs doing. The truck is looking very, very... looks like it's probably going to get finished. That's the crazy thing about the phone is it's a project that's actually going to get finished. There's a deadline on it, which is the end of August, which is half of August is gone with other stuff. So most of August actually. So I really need to get some progress on it. If I get some clear on the cab this weekend and let it dry for a fortnight, then probably we can put some details on it. Most of the details are already finished, so that's good. I did publish the truck files on a platform called Cults 3D, which is a pay for STL file, or 3D printing files and so forth. Platform that I've used quite a bit in the past, and I have other things on there for sale as well, like Fluke multimeter clips that seem to be a very popular one. It's a clip that goes in the back of a Fluke multimeter to hang it up rather than sit it on the bench. So you can buy an actual Fluke piece that clips in. We have a design for one, and it has just a bit of paracord on it. And you can hang it on the wall while you're using it, which is about the best thing possible if you're in an industrial situation. Hang it on a forklift fork or on, hang it on a ladder or a scaffold or whatever, and you don't drop it. So it's very good. Anyway, I uploaded the truck files to them. They're quite expensive. I think I make about $50 out of them under commission. There's some commission on top of that. I think 62 Australian or something for the files. There's 100 and so far in the back of files there's 180 STL files to print. So if you want nothing else to do for the next 6 months and want to really learn how to use your printer, 180 fairly small to range into sort of 2-day prints is a bit of a job. But the thing is, I've sold a couple of sets. Now they sit on the money for a month until there's a cooling off period, all that sort of stuff. If you decide, I've wasted my money on this, I want it back, or they don't work or whatever, they'll give you your money back. But I've got 2 sets sold, so that's $100, and I'd like to keep up with that. So I'm pretty impressed about that. It's Cults 3D if you want the link, but if you look for Foden S18, other people seem to be able to find it. So otherwise, if you're a friend of mine, say I want to build this, and I'll give you a hand with it. So that's something else that's happened. I'm a bit proud of. I'm pleased about that. But they need some instructions and fine tuning and stuff before very long, as promised. So that's more work. Picked up another CAD job, which is all the laser cut drawings for a Fowler R7 road locomotive, or agricultural engine, road locomotive, tender, which is mostly all, I think it's all 6mm plate, 5 or 6mm plate. I think it's 6mm plate. It might be 10mm plate, some of it, but it all needs to be laser cut. So those drawings I've got to do too. So that's a CAD project I've picked up, or a job I've picked up in exchange for some bits and pieces for the roller, which I'm pretty happy about. What else? I've got 2 or 3 CAD projects for Mark that need work. Still waiting on information and drawings, but we're getting there. I was going to print his mud hole gasket, mud hole door, to see if it actually fits, and then we can go from there, I guess. But it's a 3.5 hour print. It might get done tomorrow night. That's where we're at with that. Might get done Saturday night. James is here. Hey, James. Haven't finished this guard yet. It's there. It's in place. It needs a little bit of work with the flap disc, some sanding and filing and some filler, and a coat of paint. Not a big job. 2 hours would probably get it looking really good. It's got a wire edge on it, and it's got a cast base on it, and it's got a name on it, all that stuff. A couple of 2 or 3 hours to get it looking really good. It's going to have to wait because I just haven't got it. Anyway, that's for James. Writing matches the writing on the lathe. See, bit nice CAD work there. So this has got aluminium all over it because I did make a four drawing as well, because that's the only bit of aluminium I had. I did make a case back for a watch at work last night in about half hour. Basically chucked up a bit of rough old aluminium scrap I had here and machined the outside diameter, and then bored it out to the right diameter to fit. Made it fit the watch case and parted it off and machined the bit that was left down to it fit nicely, and super glued it, held it in place with the center until it set. Machined the outside of it and warmed it up with a heat gun and pried it off, and it pressed on beautifully, so I'm really happy with that. So that's a job I did yesterday. It took half hour, 20 minutes or something last night. It's one job that I've done on the lathe. The super glue's still sitting there with the lid off it. I'll have to go and fix that. It's not good for it. Pictures of that. I had some pictures, but they're on my phone and it's not particularly helpful. If I go to screen share, you've got to scroll through all the other pictures and have a look. And that's not real good. I'll put them in the Discord later. It came up all right. We could try this. Don't know how this works. That doesn't work. Oh, that turns the video off. That's what that one does. How cool is that? Oh, there's more things here. Hang on. What's that one turns the sound off? I don't know. I think there was a thing for sharing pictures, but I never ever used it. I'm not very good with that. Anyway. That one turns the video off. Black screen. How cool is that? Everyone needs that. I didn't know that was a thing. Anyway, that's that. I might put some pictures on the Discord. I should have done that, and I never. It's not a bad little job. It's just an aluminium case back on a little fob watch. It's a pretty simple thing, just a push on thing. But it'd come up really good, and it fits like a glove, and it's a really nice job, I think, and you'll be able to take it off and put it on a few times before it comes loose. And it's got the watch back on the street because it's not much good with the missing case back. And they're only tin before. Well, probably aluminium or something anyway, but they're really, really thin. So that's that done. So just basically then just machine when it's on the wax chuck or the super glue chuck or whatever you want to call it nowadays. Face the outside and put a grain in it and fold the corners around and cleaned it up, sand it up. Looks good. Journeyman Randy, you're missing a treat. Thanks TMB. You're missing a treat. Yeah, look us up, Spareroom Machineshop. Peter, if he's here, might actually put a link up if you would. It'd be really good. I'd appreciate that, Peter. If Randy's on Discord, he probably should be on our server because there's not a lot happens, but yeah. It's a fairly busy server, I think so. It has its moments. Sometimes it's busy, sometimes it's not. But there's a lot happens there. Well, we won't finish the stream until Peter comes back with the link. I made a couple of these for a mate in bronze, which was there we go. Thanks, Peter, appreciate it. Which was the trade-off for the bronze for the gear. He gave me 22 kilos of bronze, and 2 of these were part of the deal. And there's this, so there must be, if that was 22 kilos of bronze, there must still be a bit of it somewhere. That was some of it. There was a couple of bearings, a few little bits that we did. One of those plates, and one of them was in yellow brass. So next time I'm up there, I'm going to say, where's my bronze? Might take it with me because we could do with a few more jobs. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say, Randy's in. I'm going to say, thanks guys for watching. Really appreciate you tuning in. I don't know if I've actually had anything to say, but I'm a bit excited about stuff because there's all sorts of stuff happening, and I'm pretty happy about the way things are progressing in life. And there will be news in the next few weeks that'll rock our world, I think, as far as this channel and as far as my direction anyway in the future. So watch this space, eh? Anyway, I'm out. Be kind to your mother, all that stuff, some tips. shannondale.steam.shed@gmail.com. I got it right that time. If you want to donate some cans, really appreciate that, because you want to poke your cans in the machine and get the 10 cents back, or you can donate them to a charity or whatever. If you've got $3 worth of cans a week that you want to get rid of, and you want to take the time to recycle, $3 doesn't buy you much, but it helps us a lot. Anyway, go going to harp on at that because we've got to cover electricity and power bills and water and stuff if we're going to be a functioning club in the club rooms. Anyway, I'm out. Be kind to everyone, and especially to me, and more soon, guys.